Hey everybody, Edo here, and the good folks at Letiman Games sent me a copy of Groves to check out. This is by Steve Aramini and Dan Letzring. I was super interested in this during the Kickstarter. I played a very early prototype, but I didn't do a Kickstarter preview, so I was excited to check out the game. First and foremost, without a doubt, this is the best execution Letiman Games has done to date. The art is fantastic. It's just really beautiful and wonderful to look at. The component quality is excellent and imaginative and just fun. So just a lot of really nice work here in putting together this project. So that it's a real standout in that way. Now, in terms of the game, this is a rock solid worker placement game with a somewhat novel approach of essentially putting your workers. There are different types of fairies. There's sort of neutral fairies, dark fairies, and then color fairies, and you're collecting them and putting them into your bag and drawing them. So you have sort of bag drafting or bag pulling of your workers, and then they give you different bonuses. So that is fun and interesting. In the game, everyone starts with a fairy grove and a certain affinity. So this is blue. This player would get a number of neutral fairies plus a blue fairy. And what you are doing is you're placing them. You can place them on your board, which gives you different, gives you the crystals or the elements, or allows you to get more fairies of different types. And if you place a fairy with an affinity, you get the two things. So normally you just get the right one, but if it's the same colored fairy, you get both. So it's a little bit of an engine builder, because over here you can use crystals to buy more areas to add to your grove, and as it grows out, you extend it. Now, there's no positional play here. You're just extending your worker placement options, but it's a little bit of an engine building where you're thinking, do I want to go all blue? Do I want to mix and match? That kind of thing. You can also get essentially these victory points cards where they have a certain objective for what you're going to pull from your bag. So this one says, I'm going to pull a black and a blue fairy from my bag. So you're sort of getting the distribution in your bag in the hopes of clearing these. Each game you're going to flip over a couple of our few global victory conditions. And the last interesting element is you can build a portal. One of these portals takes two actions to build, but once it's built, it peers into another grove, and then you can use the spots, the worker placement spots in that other grove, and it gives you access to the Wraith, which always gives you both items, but then blocks a location, and you have to clear it with a neutral fairy. That was the fast of it, but actually, there's a lot going on, and there are a lot of symbols, but once you start playing, it's like any other worker placement, silky smooth. I want that, I want that. Everything's rolling around until everyone's used their three fairies, and a lot of synergy between what you get from a different location, let you draw more, convert things, lots of stuff going on. Ultimately, I think that's a little bit of what brings the game down a tad. There's a little bit of a mismatch between this fantastic evocative art and the fairy feel, and sort of a want for a little bit zippier, streamlined game. This is a chunkier, full of options, deeper gamer game in a way that's very smart. Everything works. I mean, every design element comes together, but it lasts a little long, and you wonder sometimes, like, for these elemental components, did this need to be 3 different ones, or could have been streamlined a little bit? I enjoy this game. I would certainly play it again, but I do feel like the people I'd want to introduce it to on like a game night or an after dinner date night family gaming, or like with couples night, I guess is what I'm saying, I'd hesitate because it just has that extra little like complexity that is a little bit of a miss. If you're playing games with people who like worker placement, who like playing games that sort of sit closer to that 60, what does it say in the box? 60 minutes, yeah. 60-minute mark instead of 30, 45-minute mark. There's a lot of fun to be had here. I actually really enjoy the engine slash comboing of the game, but it just feels like a little bit heavy for what looks like a game that's not going to be quite that heavy. And so just make sure your expectations are aligned. But it's certainly well produced, the art is gorgeous, and it's rock solid. So it's a very good game. Anyway, this is groves. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks. Bye.